Hello, WebBikeBoy2500 here, and today I'm here on request by TheGamingHawk, asking if I could make a secret entrance and exit into an underground base. Now, over here, I got down to thinking about how I could make a secret entrance, and, well, I made one. Now, this was the first version that I came up with, and it is fairly sleek and completely flat with the ground, and it can be very good at hiding a secret underground base. But the redstone, at least for this one, is a little overkill in some spots, especially here. Now, I later went and kind of revised it a little bit here. It still has many of the same components, just things with repeaters are done a little bit differently so that it all works more efficiently, and you can kind of see more of how other parts of it work. So I'm going to be building this first in creative, and then I'll be moving into survival to build the rest. So I'm in a new world now to demonstrate how to build this now. So we first start with 3 pistons, and depending on which way you want the entrance, you're going to put 2 pistons to the right of it. So say you want to go this way, you're going to put 2 pistons to the right of it. You're then going to put the next one to the right of that. So it kind of spirals up like this. Now we can then put the top blocks onto it. These top blocks will be what would be seen on the surface. And when you go down the staircase, you would walk this way and into your base. So the next step is to go 6 out from this one, going the opposite direction of the way you would enter your base. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'd start right here. And this is where we're going to build a T flip-flop for the input and output to switch. So this is a basic T flip-flop that uses redstone and repeaters. Now we just make it go back and loop to itself again. And we then want to take this signal all the way down here. We're going to go down a block here because there's going to be interference here later. And we're going to stop here. So this is just a rundown of me just kind of building it. I will later do a more of a survival build of it, but this will just show how to build it just simply. It's good to just see somebody actually build it instead of them explaining how it all works, because you can later use this as a reference for just building later in general. So we're going to go up a block here, and we're going to start going into the second layer, because this isn't necessarily a difficult thing to build. It's just, it gets quite complicated quite quickly if you don't know what you're going to do next. And this red or glowstone is used a lot throughout this for making sure there's no signals that go backwards, which is very important so that things are powered in the correct order and can't be repowered by other signals. So this is all about the D extension here, so that everything is timed correctly. That is what this circuit does here. This detects when this wire actually turns off. This will send out a quick pulse and start doing a bunch of manipulations through these pistons so that they de-extend and re-extend in the correct order, so they pull them all down to the bottom. So then we just have to throw in one last little piece over here. And we have this part pretty much done. Now, we're then going to go up one, move over here, and we're going to use 2 repeaters at their full tick lengths. And this is going to go into a kind of a timing board, I guess you could call it, because it's just for timing, this part here. So we're going to put 2 full repeaters here. It's going to run to that block. Then we are going to have another piece of glowstone, and the glowstone can be replaced by slabs and other blocks. If you want to know more, you can look at another video I made about just properties of these types of blocks and properties of wires going up and down these blocks. The same properties of this can apply to things like observers and droppers and hoppers and a lot of other type of blocks in Minecraft. So we're now going to go over to the other side, and this is going to be for the powering of this piston here. So we want to run a signal directly into that, with it then going up. And this one kind of makes a nice cool design for what it's going to look like. We're going to have one here and one here. There's going to be a block over this to prevent a signal of the wire I'm about to put in. And it's going to go up. And it's going to loop around and run directly into this block right there. So that's this part finished. And then you're going to go down here and run this little thing here. This will de-extend it on the very first tick when it turns off. Then we're going to take a signal and move it to this way. I'm going to be running a piece of glowstone here with a block there, a block there. This one's going to go up so the signal can go up. And a block here. Run the wire all the way down there. We're then going to extend off of this one more so that it actually goes up and then down to another glowstone piece. And run there. It's going to go down again. And here we're just going to put another repeater. And then finally, so that this whole entire contraption actually works here, we need to run a little cord, I guess redstone wire, right along here. And that completes this switching mechanism here. So now when I press it, it will extend. When I press it again, it de-extends. So that only took about 8 minutes to build this. And you can rewatch the video and go through it to see how this all works. So I took a little break there to get a glass of water. So let's start with building the second part of this, which is the activator that receives items through the ground. So we're going to start with a hopper with minecart, or minecart with hopper. That's going to receive through the ground. We want to make sure we put blocks on both sides of the rail so it doesn't fall off. So we put a minecart with hopper, then we cover over the top of it. And it's going to go down into a dropper. Now the dropper is going to be sending items into an empty space, which you can fill with lava if you're just using throwaway items. But if you actually care about your items, or they're valuable items, maybe it's you only have just like, I don't know, maybe food or something that you really want to keep, then you could probably make a system that would take this block and move it all the way down here, or take the item drop. So we're then going to get a comparator to read the signal from here, and we're going to output to a single redstone dust with a redstone torch. We're going to have a sticky piston on the side facing upwards, an observer that's going to be facing that way, and another one here. This one's going to output into a block and then a redstone dust, which makes this automatically dispense its item, so it turns off. We're then going to take this redstone signal to these two redstone dust here. We're going to use a circuit similar to the one we used over here with the observer to output a signal when this turns off. So we're going to take a observer that's going to output into a 2-tick redstone repeater, which will then go into a block with a redstone torch on it. The second one is going to output into a single redstone repeater that will then go into a block and another redstone torch. This will then output into another redstone dust with a torch on the side, and then we can read this and send it back here to change the signal of this. So when I throw an item in, it activates. When I throw another one in, it activates again and causes it to de-extend. So now I'm going to go into a survival world and show you how to build this while in survival. So I'm in a natural generated world now in survival. So let's begin building the secret entrance. So I'm going to have the entrance go that direction. So first we're going to start by digging off 7 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to put some sticky pistons here. And break these 2 here. Those there. And break that. Another one. And put the final piston there. So we're then going to take this dirt here. We're going to use that dirt for all this right here. Now this is a full inventory of what I should need. I think the pistons are a little bit off in the numbers, but besides that, everything should be good. So the next step is then going to be going down here to the very bottom one here, and going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is again what we did before, where we go 6 out and throw a torch on it. We then just need some repeaters, and I also switched out stone slabs because glowstone broke, and if I misplace it, it's going to be very unfortunate. Just going to dig out more here. Now this is kind of actually easier than I'd say in creative, because you have so much more space to kind of work around in, and everything's kind of more already laid out. You just have to kind of carve through and make your own path of what you're going to be doing. And that is some weird glitching of the game right there, which is, yeah. So we're going to hook up this redstone here. Make sure its output goes back to this torch. And then we're going to continue on with how we did it before. So we're going to start digging down this way. And this is going to keep going down here. We're then going to go down. And we're going to lay this redstone all along here. Now this is the part where we get an observer. And we make one of those circuits that checks to see if the signal has turned on to activate this, to extend or de-extend. So we're gonna want to make sure that it's facing this redstone wire. There we go. And then want to throw a torch on the side here. It's going to go along here. You can see this block with a torch on top. And then we're just going to have some redstone repeater with a 2-tick right here. And these are both, this one's going to feed into another block with a torch on it. Just got to clear this out more. Go torch here, some redstone dust there, and then another torch, and then we just gotta go this way. It then goes up a block, and then goes up another block. I gotta clear out this way more. We're just then going to go down, and I believe it's going to go another again. And then have a repeater with only 1 tick. That's going to be in. Want to make sure that's actually going into a block that will later have redstone on top of it. So then we're going to have 2 blocks here, and then we're going to have to get out the upper half slabs and clear out the top here more. Okay. So we're going to get some slabs. Probably should put one here. So that top thing, get rid of that. And this is just going to go down into a block here. We're then going to go up. Then we're going to have a few more repeaters here, all on full. Now I'm just going to replace this block just to identify it as an important block, not to be mined out later. Then going to go back over here and throw in that last little connection. We are then going to go and build in the next part over here. You're going to have 1 redstone dust on top of here. With these 2 repeaters here. They're going to output to, again, one of those kind of circuit boards of sorts, or timing boards. This is going to come all the way around, and if I remember correctly, there's a slab right here. Just going to go up. And we're then going to have two repeaters, both on full tick. Going into this right here. We're then going to go over here more and dig out some more. Just clear this out. We're then going to have a block here. It's going to go up one. And it's just going to be right here. So now we're going to have to go over to the other side and start working on that other part. Right here. So first thing, we're going to have a half slab. Right here. Which is going to be directly powering this bottom piston. We're going to want this signal to run up a block here. Block here. Just dig this out some more. And a block here. Just gonna throw the redstone on it right now. And it's then going to go up these two right over here. So you can go down and power that. And then we just have to run another signal up through here, all the way up to the piston that'd be right behind these blocks here. So we're going to throw these here. You put a placeholder block right there. And I'm just going to start digging now. Should be able to hit there. And yeah, that's the surface right here. So you're going to want to keep going this way. And here it is right here. You don't actually have to use quartz blocks or anything special for these types of blocks. I'm just doing this to show this is what you kind of want. I'm just going to fill this in. So the next part is simply connecting here. And we're going to start to extend it out this way more. It's going to be going into a block. That's then going to have a slab right here. I'll just mine out some more here. Okay. So we're then going to come off of this slab with another block here. That will then go down, and then another one is going to be up here. Then run up here. Make sure you get one right down there. And this is going to run across both of these. Just make sure it's all right. So it's going to run into there, it's going to run it into this block, which will power this here, while it's still in there. we then need to move this up a block. There's going to be a block upward more. We'll put redstone right there. It's then going to come down to another slab. Which will then run off into what should be right over here. Here. Just break this down a little bit more. And go this way. And we're just going to have another repeater. Which will go into this block here. And then we're going to have to go all the way back over to this part over here, which I'll actually walk around the other way. And this is where we have to run this wire all the way to this slab over here. Just gonna build up this. I actually want to make sure it's down one. Just so power can't go backwards with this one. So then I'm going to put redstone on top of this. And we're going to start going over this way now. For what I'm going to have to do is the final activation device for over here. And I can just get out of here real quick. So the activation device is going to be, I believe, what, 1, 2, right here. That's what I'd say is the most optimal placement. So we're then going to have a hopper. It's going to be going down with a rail on top. And minecart with hopper. And we can just cover this with dirt. So that should be right around here. Or I guess one over. So then we're going to have a dropper here. Make sure to shift click. Which can, as always, shoot down into nothing. We then want to get a signal from this one. So we got to get a comparator. And make sure it's facing this so it reads the signal from it. It's going to output to a single redstone dust with a torch on the end. And now we're then going to have a piston, sticky piston, and let's see. That's going to be facing upwards. I want to dig all this out because we then want to have an observer on top of this. Which is not going to be facing the river. Or you have to be opposite. one there. Put one on the actual arm. This one will output into a block, which then goes into a redstone dust. If I want to take this signal into redstone, I'm just going to have to switch to cobblestone now. Let's start with that. Go 2 down. And put 2 redstone here. We're going to read the signal. With the observer. If it will ever place the correct direction. So now we're going to put another repeater here. This one will be a 2-tick one. And that's going to output into a block with a redstone torch on it. Well, this one is going to be outputting into a single repeater, a single tick repeater. It will then go into a single block with a redstone torch on it. We then need another piece of redstone here, and then we're going to use our last torch to invert that signal, and we're going to carry the signal all the way back to the activation over here. Which it is slightly short on. That's very unfortunate. So I'm just going to take a quick pause here and fix that issue. Okay, so I got the final 2 redstone needed to complete this. So I guess I was 2 redstone off on building this. So now when I go up here, use this one. Everything goes up. I can put a piece of dirt there. When I throw another one, it goes down. And you can just make your pathway down here. That would eventually lead into your secret base. And you can kind of slowly decline by just kind of building out more and more. You just have to make sure that you don't go over any other signals and prevent them from being powered. So thank you for watching this tutorial. This has been WetBikeBoy2500, and I will see you next time.